Ladies and gentlemen, knuckleheads of fightersRep Nation, here once again. Well, actually, the other video got terminated, but here with Chad, the Savage George. Chad, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to us.
Well, you're paying me well, so it's good.
Well, you've got the whole squad here in the back. Tell me what's going on here.
So we are here at Southgate Park doing a little jiu-jitsu on a Sunday. We're starting to do these community events in areas that don't really know much of our sport, and so we're just spreading the love. And last month we were out in Watts at Watts Towers. This month we're here in Southgate, where our sister location is, and just having some fun. Beautiful day. Rolled out the mats, putting the gis on, and gonna choke some people.
I like it, man. It looks like a wonderful thing to do on a Sunday. Not choking people, but you know, learning about jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that's fun too. You're right. You're right. So I consider you, Chad, to be jack of all trades, but you can't say master of none. You're a master of at least one. At least one. Well, I say that because coach, fighter, entrepreneur, podcast, and you got a black belt, right, in jiu-jitsu, multiple-time champion. So you're a master in jiu-jitsu. Combat sports, or rather combat jiu-jitsu world champion. What do you think is the best thing you've achieved so far in your career?
I think everything that I've done in my career is special on its own. So I think it's hard to put a label on which one specific thing. I think everything has really led me into being who I am today, and I guess that would probably be the most special thing, because all those experiences and all those failures and all those championships have all led me to just become who I am today. Yeah. So I think that'd be the biggest victory.
You've got a beautiful gym in Gardena. Told us you've got a sister location going on in Southgate. You've only been around, what, 3 years with these gyms? You've already spread to 2 locations. Are you planning kind of further growth? What's going on with that?
I'm open to everything. You know, we like you said, we've only been open 3.5 years, and we've got a roster of students. We've got fighters. We've got amateurs. We've got everything in between, and I'm always looking to the different possibilities of expansion on any level. I have a whole bunch of projects that we're working on. From you mentioned the podcast. We're now doing submission-only tournaments. I'm working with Gracie Worlds, which is coming up in August now. So I mean, there's always things that I'm looking for, and especially for my fighters, I want to be able to give them opportunities to be able to have a platform for growth after they're done fighting. So, you know, location 3, 4, 5, 12. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Speaking of fighters, man, you've got some killers on the squad. I've had the pleasure of having one of your guys on my show, Robert Fagali. El Fagali. He came out, he put in work. He told me he was a boxer, but he won by submission. I'm sure that had a little bit to do with you. A little bit. Who else do you have here that you think we should look out for as MMA fans?
We have some really exciting up and coming talent on our roster, so it's hard to just put it on one. I mean, we've got 2 guys fighting coming up this next week, David Acuna and Cody Davis.
On the CXF
undercard, right? It's a pro-am event this Friday in Burbank at the Marriott.
Yeah.
And these kids are fun to watch. They're in the gym training every day. It's funny. He's one of these kids that came from no technical background, and now he's taking down college wrestlers, and his jiu-jitsu's getting great. He's still got a long ways to go, but it's exciting to watch these kids develop. And the same thing for David. He's awesome to watch, and they keep me busy. We literally in July and August we have events going on almost every single weekend.
Dude, that's awesome. And as a fighter, I mean, are you continuing? Are you going to stick with the coaching for now? What's going on with you?
I have no idea. I keep battling that thing in my own head. I want to fight. That's in me. It's all I've done for the last almost 15 years. I want to fight. I watch these fights. I go out there and I watch these guys compete, and I watch the TV and stuff, and I see these amazing up and comers that are coming out. Like the young talent, the hungry pros. And I'm like, yo, I would love to fight that guy. And then I remember, I'm like, wait a minute, you're able to get out of bed. It hurts to get out of bed. And So I don't know. You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
If the right opportunity pops up at the right time, I might take it. But right now, my obligation is to these other guys.
Yeah.
It'd be really selfish of me to jump in and say, hey, I'm taking a fight right now, especially when we're extremely busy and they need me.
Well, I mean, you put it on someone at that last Bellator fight you had, which was pretty recent. And, you know, I'm sure you're getting work in the gym, tremendous work. You say it's painful getting out of bed. You don't look it, but you're no longer a spring chicken. How is it kind of competing in the gym with your own guys, making sure that, hey, you know, they know who the boss is?
You know, I think that's the hardest part. Is I gotta, you know, they get a little confident. I'm like, all right, old man's gonna have to teach you something. But no, I mean, listen, the better these guys get, I know I'm not gonna be able to keep smashing and smashing and smashing because they're getting better. They're knowing what I do. They're knowing the tricks. They're knowing how to withstand, you know, pressure. So I'm looking forward to the day that I can't keep up with these guys, because that's when, you know, I'm doing my job. You know, some people will take that as like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting beat by these younger guys. I'm like, listen, if they're putting it on me, then I'm doing my job.
For sure. I mean, that means, you know, they've kind of surpassed at that point, you know, the master, have gained enough knowledge from the master to kind of, I guess, go off on their own. Is that what?
Surpass
is that the goal?
A big word. I don't know if I can.
Maybe matched. Maybe matched.
Momentarily excel.
There you go. There you go. No, for sure, for sure. Beautiful park, beautiful day. The weather here is incredible. I'm from the East Coast where it rains all the time, or it's really hot.
Yeah. We're really unfortunate with the weather here. I mean, this is just horrible. I mean, I almost contemplated wearing pants.
Wow.
So, I mean, decisions.
Well, I only wore them because, you know, my wife bought me these, and I figured I might as well put them to use. But, yeah, I'm hot. I'm hot right now.
Yeah.
You grew up here. You're born and raised here?
I mean, not in L.A. I was
deal?
born and raised in Sacramento.
No.
I moved to L.A. about 20 years ago. So, I mean,
wow.
you could say I'm kind of in L.A. 20 years ago? No, 15 years ago.
And interestingly, you told me you got into this. You were an artist?
So yeah, I came out here to go to art and film school. My dream was to be a visual effects artist for the movie industry. Went to film school, did that for a long time. I was a professional artist for a handful of years. Started training while I was doing the art stuff just to get in shape. And I hit a crossroad a couple years in where I said, okay, I got to make a decision. I can't be double-minded and have only partial energy given to both, I guess you could say, careers, when one of them was a career and one of them was a hobby. But I really wanted to take a risk, and I said, you know what? I really am in love with this MMA thing. This is obviously before the sport became what it is now. And I said, you know, if it doesn't work out, if I don't like it, I can always go back to art. I have my portfolio. I still always have that skill set. I can always go back to it. And decided to pack up shop in my studio I had, moved into my car, literally, my Toyota Tercel, and
struggle.
Here we are now.
Well, I mean, we've come a long way. It looks like the art has sort of transcended into other aspects of your life. I'm sure the creativity has maybe helped you in the fight game. You've got, you know, you told me you designed your own logo as well. How else maybe, you know, has this kind of helped you as a background?
Well, I knew marketing and branding. Like, that was something I've done for years, since even before I came out here. When I was in Sacramento, I was going to design school and I was doing things. So branding is something I've been doing since I was a kid. So when I started fighting, I applied that to building my own name. So I came up with different ways to build myself in the industry and the community. So I was doing, you know, just different hairstyles, and I put on performances. I had artists coming out before me when I'd come out. So, you know, it was all about just ways of building my brand. Yeah. And I never knew it was going to turn into what it has now. But the idea of the showmanship and the artist has always been through my career, and it still is today.
And I appreciate that. That's something that, you know, we've spoken about. I'm definitely going to, you know, take your advice to heart. You told me you felt like a lot of the shows are kind of the same thing, cookie cutter, one after the other. Nothing being done to make these promotions special.
Yeah.
So, you know, besides the advice you already gave me, is there anything else maybe you wanna toss in there? Let other promoters know what they should be, what you think they should be doing, anything like that?
Well, hire me, and we will create things that nobody else has. I don't know.
Aren't you spread thin a little bit now to be hired again, Chad?
If there's time in the day, there's more time to make things happen.
Gotcha.
You know, I don't believe in just saying that, you know, I'm overloaded.
No.
Listen, I go to bed when the work's done.
No. Well, Chad, man, I greatly appreciate your time. You guys are going to be out there at CXF on Friday competing. I look forward to it. Especially since I matched their fights on the CXF D League, which I'm also very excited about.
That sounds so like demeaning, D League.
Well, I think by D League they mean Development League because they want to.
Development League might sound better.
Yeah,
D League is like you guys sit on the bottom of the bus, right? that's what that sounds like to me. D League, like because okay, where's C and B?
Yeah, no, I think it stands for development, but that's like a term used in the NBA for their development league.
The D League?
Yeah, so I think CXF just kind of adopted that. But definitely, I'm with you. These guys, I mean, for me, they're the future. You know, I love the amateurs. I'm also trying to do the kids' pancreation now. I'd love to get some of your kids on there. I know you got some crazy talented kids at that gym that you've been telling me about. Chomping at the bit about that. Anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to say before I let you go?
No, just, you know, keep training, keep developing yourself. And don't forget to build yourself as a business, because that's what's going to take your future forward.
For sure. And speaking of which, where can people find you on your incredibly motivational social media?
Well, always find me at Chad Savage George on Instagram, and the Savage Hour podcast. It's on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and the Podbean.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad. I appreciate it, man.